New engagement models and new services and expectations of services are driving digital transformation in enterprises today. Enterprises are innovating at rates that we've never seen before. They're utilizing compute in ways they haven't seen before to drive out these new models. And it's all about speed, change, and iteration of change. Enterprises are driving out these strategies rapidly, and they need infrastructure, whether on-premises or in the cloud, that can keep up with this rapid churn of change. CIOs and the entire IT organization need to respond to this unpredictable demand from the business. The way IT used to work in a project-governed method doesn't really support these unpredictable needs of the business. And therefore, IT is innovating. And a big part of that innovation isn't just around technology, it's around process. IT is transforming as a service. And really, it's IT as a service so that the business can interface with IT, access the resources and compute they need when they need them, as opposed to having to understand what they need ahead of time and driving more in a project-type method. And it really is a reflection of the digital transformation that enterprises are going through. In order to transform an organization, in order to transform IT really to be a service provider and act as a service in everything they do, a rapid deployment of infrastructure is necessary, and a massive amount of automation is necessary. DNS is often overlooked as part of this transformation. DNS infrastructures are often brittle. They're usually built over time with open source or based on Microsoft. And most importantly, though, they're managed server by server by server, or they're managed and owned by different organizations in a large, complex enterprise. And over time, they've become corrupt. Zones are manually copied to other servers. Forwarders are used as band-aids to try to navigate a maze of DNS. For a single change to be made to support the business, oftentimes that change needs to be made in multiple locations by multiple people, and therefore could take days, if not weeks, to make that change. There's not a common controller to drive automation and drive rapid changes in such a way where services can be made available within seconds. And if DNS is still siloed-based and fragile, it'll only get worse because those building and needing DNS services for their applications and what they're building will tend to just create more chaos in the process. So this brings in the concept of enterprise DNS, a centralized DNS controller that can ensure that DNS data is correct, that there are single representations of authoritative data that can be split into views in case there needs to be different views of that same data, centralized, controlled, governed, with authority that can be delegated. It's a critical part of enterprise DNS. Secondly, that it can be automated, that has the right kind of API, but APIs that can be accessed rapidly by the business so that those that don't necessarily understand the depths of how the infrastructure works can make the changes that they need to when they need to. Many of those changes aren't just about DNS, but they're orchestrated across a wide variety of activities in order to do a much higher level things. Automation never stops. It's a core tenet of enterprise DNS. And thirdly, with all this data, gives us the opportunity to leverage that data. The data of how DNS is being used is a critical enabler for other types of services. The benefits of enterprise DNS are multiple. We go from a world where there's many different servers all around the world being managed separately to a world where a few people can manage the entire infrastructure centrally, and they can do it with much less coordination and orchestration of manual tasks, and that just reduces the burden, reduces the workload in order to keep this infrastructure up and running and meeting the business needs. But more importantly now, as the number of those sort of core administrative users goes down, we can drive up and enable the business. And so we go from tens of manual administrators to hundreds or thousands of users that are interacting with the API. That transformation driving business self-service, that's a huge part of the value of Enterprise DNS. So Enterprise DNS actually enables digital transformation. It allows for rapid changes that are centrally controlled, that still meet IT requirements around governance and compliance. It's a critical enabler for a broad strategy around automation that ensures that we can act as a service in IT and again, meet those requirements driven by the business around digital transformation.